It's the Full Court Press with Eric Frandsen and Jason Walker.
Welcome back to the to the show that we're doing right now.
Following the local teams, breaking down the biggest games with in-depth analysis and team interviews.
There's going to be much higher expectations, sense of awareness of what we bring to the table.
Join the show by calling into 435-752-1069 or text 435-339-0321. It's the Full Court Press.
Rose, hands up, yes! Caught! Touchdown! They did it!
Welcome back to the Full Court Press. Eric Frandsen, Jason Walker. Love to hear from you as well. 435-339-0321. Chime in on the Full Court Press text line. Reacting to Utah State and their seed for the NCAA tournament, taking on Missouri in Sacramento. Jason Walker, you'll be making the trip west coming up on Wednesday. Aggies play Thursday morning. It'll be on TNT. We'll also have wall-to-wall coverage of all NCAA tournament games here on The Fan. So really strong likelihood you're going to be hearing the Aggies here on The Fan.
Really strong likelihood. I like that confidence.
Don't know. Well, one thing that we can't guarantee, though, is that it will be the full game start to finish. They will do lookaways. If it's a blowout, they may cut away to cover another game. That's just kind of the way the Westwood won and the NCAA tournament does their broadcast. So I'm not going to make promises about how much of the Aggie game we'll have on, but we will have chunks of the Utah State basketball game here on The Fan on Thursday and hopefully again on Saturday.
Yeah, that's the hope. Hope for another long weekend for me.
Yes. We don't know what their game situation would be like on Saturday. They don't announce the tip times or the schedule for the second round until they determine how the first round goes because they want to look at matchups and
yeah, they want to plan as much
teams
as they can.
That are right. Which are going to be the sexier matchups, more interesting for TV viewers.
Yeah, it's all about the almighty TV dollar.
A couple of your texts that came through tail end of last hour. Want to get through those. 2305. Al Lewis mentioned the fact that there was no radio coverage for the Aggies in the championship game. Was just wondering what is going on, and can you guys address what Al said and what can be done?
I thought there was a radio crew there. Scott Gerard was there. He was sitting there.
I don't know. I was watching the television broadcast of the Aggie game for the championship. There was no radio for us on our group of stations. But
I would have thought that their regular radio partner would have had something. Like I said, their radio play-by-play guy was there.
Yeah.
I walked right by him.
That's true. Times. I know he was there for all the games, but
be kind of a shame if they didn't.
Yeah. We would love to have the games. We would love to be able to get back to having Utah State games heard around northern Utah and southeast Idaho. It's really hard to hear them right now. That was a decision taken out of our hands. That definitely was not our decision. Folks back in Missouri made that decision with Learfield. We'd like to get it back. And without getting into too much details, we since that time and have continued to have discussions off and on about trying to find ways to bring it back and to make something happen. So we'll see where that goes, but hopefully there's a path in the future where we can get those games back.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
8968 texting in. I knew it was very far-fetched, but he was very serious about the football tournament. I thought you needed a laugh.
He was serious? Oh, gosh. I see people come with the most crackpot ideas ever. Usually, it depends on the subject. Sometimes they talk about, like fixing the NFL overtime format, and they come up with the stupidest ideas or, different things. And it's like, I don't know. People come up with, whenever I come up with an idea to fix something or alter it, first off, I recognize it'll never happen. Second off, I at least try and come up with something that's logical and that, doesn't break things.
But a 64-team football playoff, yeah,
it's just somebody not thinking things through at all.
I mean, that's half of college football involved in a playoff. You don't have half of college basketball involved in the playoff.
Yeah. You have like less than a third. 363 teams. So that's what, 290 something teams that don't play. Yeah.
Let's see, a couple other texts coming through. 9315. Why it take a dancing bid to get the TV and radio station down south to finally say something about the Aggies? We're just luck. No one else from Utah made it. Logan may have been forgotten.
Yeah, Logan may have been forgotten. Yeah, that's how it is down in Salt Lake. They ignore the Aggies until they think it's a feel-good story, and then they report on it. It's like, oh yeah, the Aggies. That's basically their news covers the Aggies. And by the way, the Aggies are having a better season than the two teams we've been talking about this whole year.
So it's really much like what you see play out in the NBA and the NFL. The games that get the most ratings, despite the team record, are the Lakers in the NBA and the Cowboys in the NFL. Those franchises used to be good, long time ago, haven't been very relevant recently. But you get more attention talking about them win or lose than some of the other teams that deserve the discussion. And it's really, that's how it is in Utah. Utah and BYU along the Wasatch Front are the teams that get the discussion. That's where their fan bases are based. It's a large media market. They have big fan bases down there. It makes sense. And if they didn't make the tournament, why didn't they make the tournament? Rather than talk about, Utah Valley had a good year. Yes, they ended up missing the tournament, but they're going to the NIT. Are they talking about the Wolverines, the great year they had? No, they'd much rather talk about how poorly Utah and BYU did this year.
Yeah. Apparently there was one guy trying to figure out how Dan Akin ended up at Utah State. I just saw that on Twitter and I was like, I didn't hear what he said, or I don't even know if I know who exactly it was, just somebody in Salt Lake. It's like, why is Dan Akin on the Aggies? Why didn't BYU get him? It's like, well, do you understand how transfers usually work?
Weirdness.
Most of the time they don't just go into the transfer portal and say, you look good. It's connections.
Yeah.
That's like 90% of the transfer portal is connections.
Let's talk about Utah State and Ryan Odom, Stephen Ashworth. They had reactions to getting their team name called on Selection Sunday. They're going to be taking on Missouri in Sacramento. And some comments here from Ryan Odom, just kind of initially getting an opportunity to go to the NCAA tournament. And this is not his first time going to the tournament. Remember, he took his team, University of Maryland, Baltimore County, also known as UMBC.
Yeah, the not giant mouthful of words.
The alphabet soup school, and had a monumental upset in the tournament as a 16 seed, knocked off Virginia, became it's never been done before, and you have that guy here in Logan taking his team to the tournament. First time here, he's taken the Aggies to the NCAA tournament, but he is not without tournament experience.
Yeah, this team's confident, like that team. That team was very confident, and they felt like they could play with anybody, regardless of what anybody said. They didn't really go around listening to what others said. They just tried to, do their best in each and every game. This team right here is created. That's the similarity. I told them, I said, you've already, regardless of what happens tonight, you've already created all these cool memories that you'll have for the rest of your life, and funny stuff that's happened, and winning. And when you do both of those things, like, everybody feels good. And there's only one team from here that's going to feel awesome, right? Because it's going to end for everybody. But it doesn't mean because you don't win the whole thing that you didn't, live an amazing season, life with that particular team.
The other thing cool about, speaking of experience, as a player experience, this Utah State roster has some guys that have been to the tournament before, whether in Aggie jerseys or wearing other jerseys too. Stephen Ashworth talked a little bit about that last night as well, that this is an Aggie team that has some tournament experience.
I think it definitely does. I mean, we have a guy on the team who's won in the tournament, in Dan Atkin, and so they know what it's like. We've been to the tournament before, Sean, Max, myself, and so I think that experience definitely helps, because we talk a lot as well about in this program that pressure is a privilege, and playing in the tournament is pressure basketball, and that's what you want to be doing in March, is playing basketball where it really matters. And so we have that goal to go out and get the first win in 30 or 50, whatever, however many years it's been, 20, yeah. No, I actually saw something. It was, no, this was 50. 1970 was when we were in the Sweet 16.
Yes. We played in 1970, we played the Final in the Elite Eight.
Oh, okay.
We lost to UCLA to go to the Final Four.
Gotcha. So that was the 50-year mark. But yeah, it's been a few years since we've had a win in the NCAA tournament. So super excited about our opportunity and the experience that we're going to go have come Thursday.
Yeah, a couple days from now, Wednesday will be the anniversary, about 22 years since Utah State's last victory in the NCAA tournament and win over Ohio State.
Downtown Tony Brown.
Yeah, way back when, in the third year of Stu Morrill's coaching at Utah State. That was the last time the Aggies did. I tell you, we think of Stu Morrill as a long-time head coach, and it was his third year. So it's been a while.
Been a long time. And initially, not a lot known. I mean, you just get the news, who you're going to face, and you don't get a lot of time to do a lot of homework on your opponent. But Ryan Odom shared some thoughts that he had about Missouri and just kind of his quick initial reactions.
I know they're just really good. Yeah, they play in one of the best conferences country, and they've been tested. The number one overall team is in their conference, right? So they've had to go on the road and play at places like that. So they've seen it all, at this point. And I know they fared well in their conference tournament. Even though they didn't win the whole thing, they showed extremely well, and they've got a really good team. I know they play fast, and can put up points.
You and them are two of the better offensive teams.
So it'll be a good matchup, and but other than that, I don't know a ton. I think they probably don't know much about us either, and it's just now begins the little,
Yeah, I guess I think I meant to cut it off earlier than that.
I'm sure he's probably meaning the film study.
Yeah, basically saying they both go in and it's the process of where they're both figuring each other out. But yeah, like with Odom there, like it sounds like he talks about a lot of stuff, but in reality, it's like he knows their record, he knows their conference, he knows they did well in the conference tournament, and he probably knows they're ranked. That's about all you know about a team. Like that's the first you Google and was like, okay, this, and this, and this, and that's what you know.
You only have they made 30, 40 minutes after the announcement when they were made available to the media.
Yeah.
So
they
not a lot of time.
They had not been able to study, and so I mean they had their coaches. I think Odom probably walked back. We were in the Estes Center. Probably walked back into his office and went to go watch film right after talking to us.
This is going back to some of the comments from Stephen Ashworth. This is an Aggie team that has some postseason experience, has some tournament experience from the players and the coaches. Super valuable going to this. When under Craig Smith, first time he took the Aggies there, it was just a sense like, we made it. Okay, wow. Everybody get out your cameras and enjoy this moment, being here. But then they didn't seem quite as mentally prepared and focused. Washington kind of smacked them around a little bit. And then COVID year happens. And then in 21, it's a little bit different roster. There's no Sam Merrill there anymore. But they seem to go into that situation a little bit more focused and a little more like, okay, we're going to the tournament. This is another business day. We got to get focused here. With Coach Odom, like he's been through that, and so he knows how to properly prepare his team. And some of these players have been through that too, so they know how to prepare themselves. That this isn't just let's just go and experience being in the NCAA tournament. We're going to go try to win a game.
Yeah,
it needs to be the mindset.
Yeah, I think it will be. Odom didn't show a glad to be here mindset when he was the 16 seed. Like that's kind of the epitome of teams that are just glad to be there because they usually go in and then they get worked. Well, and he when in the interviews you'd think the way he's talked, talk about glad to be there. he talks about the importance of these memories, but when it comes down to it, he's going to get down to business. And this team's going to take it seriously. Yeah, they're going to appreciate the ride, later, look back, but they are going to take this seriously. Now, they may not win. They might just face a better team. But they're going to go out there and they're going to play some of their best ball. And I do really believe they're going to have a pretty decent chance to win.
All right, that's going to about do it for us here in the Full Court Press. Utah Jazz on the road tonight against the Miami Heat. Doesn't look like Walker Kessler. He's got his illness that's come back again.
Such a mysterious illness.
Jordan Clarkson's still out, so we're not sure who's going to be playing for the Jazz.
Walker Kessler's out with tankitis. With my coaches want to lose this game-itis. Oh, I'm sorry, I can't play.
Something like that. We'll be back at it tomorrow. A little bit shortened show tomorrow, though, because the first four, we'll have those here on The Fan on Tuesday and Wednesday nights. But we'll give you some more previews about Missouri tomorrow night.